All right, I'm here with my dear friend Izack Landman, who is a sells jewelry, high-end jewelry, diamond jewelry, luxury watches. So this will be for you if you are in one of two situations. You want to understand the value of sales, or if you're looking to buy something nice for yourself or for your spouse, either one or maybe both. Izack, can you just very quickly tell me what when you went into your career, like, did you feel like you knew how to sell? Like, what was your relationship with getting people to buy your stuff?
Okay, it's a fair question. So let's go 20 years ago when I first started. I worked for a regular diamond company, was wholesale trade to the wholesale. And after a couple of years being there, I noticed that they're lacking the brand. And that's when I made a switch about 8 years ago, and I moved to a branding company called Norman Silverman.
Okay.
So today, a lot of people want a brand behind the item simply because there's a responsibility. They know that if there's a good trusted brand behind the item they're purchasing, whether it's a diamond ring or a diamond bracelet or any item that we sell, they know they can go to sleep at night because there's somebody protecting the item behind what they bought.
You're saying
So
that
if
there's
the
a level of trust. You're dealing with a lot of money here. There's, we don't know whatever it is. I want to be able to trust what I'm buying. Is that what you're saying?
correct. Correct, because like when you buy a brand, you're actually putting your name out there that if anything goes wrong, they personally want to make sure that it will be fixed or taken care of, or if there's a question, there's somebody to talk to. There's a lot of jewelry people out there or diamond people that will just sell a piece with no name, and if something goes wrong, they just won't take the call. Whereas,
Yeah.
like, you go to any brand today, and if you have an issue, they will say, "Hey, this brand is causing an issue. Can make it to the news." So when you have a name behind the brand, it protects the item that you have.
So,
Now,
so
with
just
that,
I'm going to do. We haven't ever done one of these before, but I usually like to try to reiterate what you just said because you just said like some seriously important things. So number one is that one of the things that are most important when people are buying is, do they trust you? Do they trust the product? Right. That's the first thing. And what you're saying yourself also, if you want to build longevity in business or in sales, you're going to have to take responsibility for whatever you sell, because modern day, the way the world works is like your reputation will chase you, because if not, people will literally just label you a scammer or someone that's messed up, and then you're just going to be screwed.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what's funny? Like I mentioned before, watches. Like people ask me, "Do you do pre-owned?" The answer is no. And it's simply because when it's new, you have a box, paper, and warranty. So there's never an issue. He can go with a watch to Rolex and get it fixed with a warranty. There's no issue. If I sell a pre-owned watch with no paper or no warranty on it, where did it come from? Why was it sold? What did they change the dial? So the same with the jewelry. If you have a name behind it, you're protected. But the name has to be legit. It has to be sold by a legit person that carries the brand. So today we have probably 70, 80 stores in the United States carrying our brand, and they are happy to sell it as a brand. This is a Norman Silverman piece. So when the client has an issue, or if the client just wants to even upgrade or complement it, they can complement the name. It's better
Awesome.
than saying, I bought it from Joe Schmo. Who's Joe Schmo? I don't know. It's Joe Schmo.
All right.
Yeah.
So keep going. So you joined this other. So you thought that it was worthwhile to go into an established brand because of, then you had the trust, you had the reputation with people. But again, just trust and reputation. There's a million brands out there with trust and reputation. What do you feel like really distinguished you yourself with your sales and with your customers?
Okay, so first of all, even when you go into a brand, if it's a luxury brand, you want to do some homework behind the company to make sure that they have the experience and the ability to be a real brand. So let's say you buy clothing today. It's very nice to walk around with a Hermes belt or with Ferragamo shoes. Now, some people cannot afford it. So there's plenty of brands out there that can do possibly the same thing for a lower price that you can afford. So the question is, okay, did I spend $50 on shoes and it ripped? It was $50. Get over it.
Right.
Versus buying a piece of clothing for 300 like it ripped, then it's like, oh man.
Yeah.
So the same thing in jewelry. You want to go, even though you go into a brand, you want to make sure the company is trusted enough and has a good experience and expertise to deliver what they promise. So the reason why I went into the brand is I saw that's trending since 2015. Everybody wants to say a brand. Like I'm wearing a Rolex. I'm driving a Porsche. It's all
You
when I
you
buy
pick, you
somebody a
picked my two
gift. It's a
vices.
when I buy somebody a gift, it's a Williams Sonoma box, you know?
Right.
You never seen like a nice box saying Dove on it. I mean, you could, but like,
Right.
my point is, so that's why I went for that. And for my reputation, I want to be known as a person that sells something with a name that is trustworthy. Now, when it comes to pricing, it may be a bit more expensive because the expenses we have as far as branding. But at the end of the day, you can sleep at night knowing you have something legit in your hand, something real, something that comes with a name and a story as well. It's always nice to buy something with a story.
Tell me about that. How does the story fit in? Again, in any of these you could pick any luxury brand, but like, tell me the power of a story. When I'm here to buy a watch or I don't know, a coaching program or a knife or a pair of shoes, what is the value of a story behind a brand?
Okay, so the story is first of all, so I'll give you the story of our company because that's what I do. So the company was established in 1982, and it came from a guy named Norman Silverman, who's a nice, frum Jew, very honest. Norman has a very, very good reputation in industry as far as being honest, as far as a person that wants to give, a person that we say fargin in Hebrew. And I don't know if there's a English word for fargin, but basically he wants the best for everyone.
Right.
And he put in his life and his sweat into it to have basically the best product possible. So I can look at 100 diamonds and pick out one. I'll pick out the best and say no to other 99 diamonds, basically. And the people showing it to me be like, look, if you're only buying one diamond, the price will be higher. We are willing to pay a premium for that special diamond that is one of a kind. So if you talk about the behind our brand is, there's trust, that the person has the expertise over almost 40 years now of creating high-end jewelry, and he has the reputation for it in the industry. So if you go in my industry, who's Norman Silverman, they'll say he's one of the A plus kind of jewelers out there. So when it comes to a brand, any brand, it has to come with a story. Who is the person? Can I get to meet the person? Now, some people have been deceased in the company, fine, but there's somebody taking over. There's a name behind the brand. There's a faith behind it. There is a story of who his family is, where he came from, what got him into the industry, how long has he been doing it for. It takes a lot of expertise of building a brand. It's not just one. You can't just wake up in the morning saying, I'm a brand. You have
Right.
to put a lot of money into advertising to get your name out there, whether it's social media, advertising in newspapers, magazines, everything,
So
just to get the name.
if I would want to be saying I want to build a brand, let's say again, speak to someone who's maybe starting a business and whatever it is, a service business, whatever it might be, and the story part's important and the brand's important. What are some things that I might be thinking about when I put out, again, you sort of identified that it's like we go the extra mile to make sure we have real quality, but like, are there some, again, if someone was just saying like, look, I want to start an air conditioning company, or I have got an air conditioning company, and we're one of, again, people a lot of times might compete on price. That's usually not the best thing because there's always going to find someone who does it less good and cheaper than you. How do I position myself that like this is something that people want to buy?
Okay, so first of all, it's a very good question, and you definitely made a very good example about the air conditioning and all. There's always going to be somebody for cheaper. So you got to go backwards. Why is he cheaper? Is he cheaper because his expenses are less? Okay, that means he's not really investing in his quality or in his company as much as the better person because he wants to be known as a cheaper brand, and therefore he probably will have to be based on volume. I'm not a volume business. I'm more of like, let me get 5 sales a week versus 100 sales a week at a nice profit and do it calmly. So when I came back from my diamond days, it was like 8 to 4, being on the phone, sending out 30 packages, 29 coming back, one this. Before you know it, I made a sale for 6,000 here, a sale for 8,000 there, and it added up. I'd rather be sitting right now at lunch with a person that can spend $1 million, get $200,000 out of him, and saying, you know what? That meeting took me 1 hour.
So let's wait.
I'm
I want to reverse engineer what you're saying. Is basically if I am going to try to build a brand story, I should go into the mind of the consumer. I should go into the mind of the customer, and I should go
always.
into my own like desires as well. And so you're saying, look, I could chase down and make a couple grand here and there. But for you, if I can be the most effective, again, you've got thank God a beautiful family. You've got stuff that you like to do. You're like, if I'm going to spend an hour, let me get $200,000 out of that hour, and that means I have to go into the psychological profile. A guy that's going to spend that money probably doesn't care if it's the cheapest offer as long as dot dot dot, like you said, the quality's there, the trust there, the story's there. So it's going to the mind of the prospect. Is that sort of what I'm hearing you say?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Now, also about a brand, you want to come up with something different, something that you can't see every day. If I cannot take a diamond ring that everyone is manufacturing and brand it, but I can take a piece that I sit down with my jewelry designer and saying, hey, let's design this. It's going to be one of a kind item. Eventually, will people copy me? Probably if I don't patent it. But even if I patent it, like, the loss, it's not worth it. But like when you come up with a special piece that everyone was like, wow, I want this. Even if it's too expensive, but like just saying the word wow, boom, you created something that people are saying this guy's investing in his product to make it look nice, to make it look good. So as a brand today, that's very important. And also when you have a name, the name gets out there. Norman Silverman. If you Google today Norman Silverman, between the reviews and between, there's probably millions of articles out there. If you Google Joe Schmo Diamonds, I don't know if you're going to get more than 5 results. So
Let me ask though. You also represent, like, you again. You mentioned like a cool COVID project with buying Rolexes, and I'm sure that you enjoy. Well, I mean, we both share that we both like those watches. I'm just curious though, like for someone that says I don't like, it's clear that just having a good brand, just being someone that, again, there's probably millions of people out there that have access to Rolex and can be able to sell. Like, what differentiates someone like yourself who is able to actually move product and actually build something and build the trust? Like, what are you doing? What are you telling yourself? How important is the aspect of actually doing the sales work versus just having something that people want?
so the Rolex is a bonus because I work with Rolex stores and I have enough people in the industry that will explain to me how important the Rolex is today. And this is my personal benefit I have for being in the industry.
Yeah.
To be a Rolex dealer today, any kid can try to sell Rolexes and buy them off Chrono and everything, but what do they know about the watch? Nothing. I walk into every Rolex store and I just pick up a Rolex book just to read about it. What am I selling? And you know what? I sit on Shabbat. I just look at the magazines. Ooh, I like this watch. Ooh, look at this movement. So just to educate myself. So again, my benefit is that I work with these stores and they don't give me watches, but they give me the education. So you mentioned Rolex. Rolex, if you're asking me, is the ugliest watches. The problem is they brand so well
Yeah.
that everybody wants the ugly watch.
Right.
If I would show you a watch that is not a Rolex, but looks identical, but doesn't say Rolex on it, you'll say, what is this? Why do I want a two-tone robot-looking watch in my hand? I'll give you a better example. Look at the toy Richard Mule. They look like toys.
You're right.
But guess what? The branding they're putting out there, they put on celebrities. Now everybody wants a $250,000 watch that
Right.
looks like my son's Game Boy looks better.
Right.
So that's branding, by the way. And today in the United States, the three hottest watches selling the four is AP, Rolex, Patek, and Richard Mule. There are many beautiful watches that people don't even know about in
Right.
Switzerland, but
Right.
because nobody's asking for them, yeah.
But what
So
makes
the
you
only
what
reason
makes
why I
you
sell them,
different? Like what again, like speak to the guy that's got, like, speak about the actual, like, let's say he's got a product that's good, he's got, or in demand, but like what's going to make the difference between someone like you that can move a bunch of watches versus the guy that says, yeah, hey, I got a store, you can come check it out. Like what do you tell yourself, or how did you learn how to do that part?
okay, so it goes back to the jewelry. Because I'm in the industry and I deal with these people all day long, whether it's a watch or jewelry piece, and I built 20 years of experience, and I could explain a piece of jewelry, I could explain a watch today, because that's what I do on a day-to-day basis. I have more experience to educate myself and my client what I'm selling him. Now, will I shove it down his throat? The answer is no. But I can at least say, hey, I gave the guy my expertise. I educated him. And a lot of people come to me with questions all the time. They'll come to me with diamonds saying, hey, what do you think about my diamond? And I'll be like, it's very nice. It looks like a soul color. It looks like this clarity. What do you think it's worth today? I'll tell them what I personally think it'll be worth in an average ballpark. Same with a watch. Same with a piece of jewelry, a necklace or a bracelet. So does the person have to buy from me? The answer is no. But at least I
Right.
can give him the experience and the knowledge, educate him of what he's getting, whether it's for me or somebody else.
Right. So how do you deal with like rejection, with failure? Like you put, again, like you're not selling cheap products that, people probably tell you no, people probably try to, they say I'm ready to go, and then you show up and they're, I changed my mind. Like how do you deal with the ups and downs? Again, there's a lot of money usually on the lines. You spend, it sounds like, again, you spend a tremendous amount of time educating yourself. You build long-standing relationship with clients. How do you deal with that?
So I'll give you the real honest answer, and it's a Jewish answer. I believe in Hashem, and if I don't deserve the sale, I'm not gonna get it. But at least I tried.
Okay.
That's the honest answer.
Yeah. So tell me, but like, so when you try, how are you approaching each try? When you go out and you make that offer, what
So
do you tell yourself? Yeah.
before I go, I make a little prayer to myself and to Hashem, saying, God be with me. I'm trying this. I'm doing it to feed my family.
Yeah.
And if I deserve it, thank you. If I don't deserve it, thank you for giving me the opportunity. But if they say no today, it doesn't mean it's no tomorrow.
Okay.
I
Okay.
never ever give up.
Okay.
And I always tell the clients, and they love this about me. I have a client saying, I actually just got an email. I'm going to read it.
Hey, you're muted. You're muted.
Okay,
Okay.
here you go.
Awesome. Good to
I
see
don't know
you.
what
Thanks.
happened. So to answer your question, sorry about that. Um, so I just got an email right now from a client this morning saying how this met me at the show, and they said, "What we like about you, you never give up. You're always trying." And you told us the only time you walk away is if we tell you, "Please don't contact
Never
us."
talk to us ever again.
Unless we contact you, we're okay.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's funny, that client I was chasing for 3 years, they're my best client today.
So I just want to reiterate that because a lot of people think, well, I'm going to be a nudge, or like they already said no. For you, it's you have actually people appreciate your tenacity to keep following up with them.
Keep following up, but you got to do it in a very gentle way. You cannot
Mm.
be like, an email
Yeah.
and say, when is a good time to call? And even if they read the email, they don't respond to you, just next week, just checking up again. Is it a good time to talk right now? Pick up the phone once a month saying, can I speak to so and so? And leave a voicemail. And once eventually they get on the phone, and even if they say, what do you want? I'll be like, I wanted to say, hi, how are you? And I wanted to see if there's any way for us to work together. I can make you a lot of money as a partner. Can you give me 2 minutes? And 99% of the time they say yes. And they can say to me, we right now have enough vendors that we can deal with, but we'll keep you in mind. And that's when I know I did mine. They'll come
What's
back if they have to.
what's the most important piece of advice you could give to someone that's looking to go into sales?
Number one, never give up.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two is it's not about selling. It's about building a relationship too. So if you know that, let's say one of your clients is, let's say, lost a grandmother, send her a bucket of flowers. If it's a birthday, text her happy birthday. If there's a wedding, congratulations. Become personal. You can go on social media today, find out everyone's birthday, and you can add it to your calendar. You can go right now and find out if there's a wedding in the family, if somebody lost somebody. If they have a cute dog, you say, hey, I love dog. Find a conversation piece that's not only about selling. That's number one.
For someone that would say, but that feels manipulative, what would you say back to that?
Good luck.
Yeah,
Let's let,
yeah. No, it's so important
let's
because again,
let, let,
you're
let's meet end of the year and look at your numbers versus my numbers. Because you
yes,
know what? Clients today want to have a relationship with the vendors more than just like sell, sell, sell. Oh, you don't want anything? Goodbye. They don't
right,
want to hear that.
right. Right.
You
That's
need
actually more manipulative that I only call you when I'm trying to sell you something versus if I build
exactly.
a
You need to be a mensch. You need to
Yep.
be a person that's pleasant to talk to.
Beautiful.
And also,
Beautiful.
you need to find the person in the company you want to talk to. Some guys want to talk to other guys. Some companies want you to talk to the girl, vice versa, whatever it is. You're not going to click with everyone. You're just not going to. You have people who are alcoholics and you're not. You have people who are very religious and you also very religious. You have to find that little circle they can get into to slowly grow together. End of the day, one thing. Business is business and personal is personal. If you cannot take your business and make it personal, that's rule number one. And vice versa. You cannot make personal business also. So you have to be patient. Client is always right. And if he's wrong, in a nice way, you have to explain him, that's not how we work. But we have to meet halfway, you know? So
Amazing.
yes.
Amazing. Izack, tell it people where they can find you if they want any kind of jewelry support, help, watches, you name it. How do people find you?
So I'm mostly active on Instagram and Facebook under Izack Landman. I'm on LinkedIn as well. And if somebody's really serious, they can always DM me, private message me. And if I feel like I need to respond to them, I'll eventually give my phone number so we can talk more via text or WhatsApp. But I give everyone a time of the day and I want everyone to be happy. Yes, I want to sell a piece of jewelry, but I'm also all about building a friendship. And it's not about a one-time sale. It's about growing a relationship. And like I always say, in my company, like, sometimes people will say to me, oh, what about selling this private, that private? I'm like, a one-time sale is not a customer. The customer is a person that comes to me, a store, and gives me 5 to 6 calls a week. And we build a relationship and we build a business together. At the end of the year, I can say we sold him $600,000. If a guy comes to me once in 5 years for $13,000, in my opinion, he's not a customer. Focus on
Awesome.
customers they can build a relationship with.
Amazing. Izack, thank you so much.
My pleasure.